The Call of Duty Vanguard Alpha is over, so let's have a look at everything involved in the Alpha and give it a final review. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy BlancOnline, here today to chat to you about the Champion Hill Alpha. If you've gotten the chance to play for it, I would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section down below. But if you haven't played the Alpha yet, this is going to be the video for you to understand Vanguard and sort of what to expect leading into the open beta. I'm not gonna talk too much in this intro. I'm just gonna sort of go straight into it. This might be a longish video because I do have a lot to talk about in terms of pros and cons of the Alpha, and then at the end of the video we'll give a final overview and conclusion type of thing. So strap in, get some snacks, do whatever you want to do, because we're going to be talking all things Vanguard Champion Hill Alpha right here, right now. Let's get into it. I'm going to start off with the pros. Obviously we got to start nice and positive, as everyone in the Warzone / Modern Warfare fanboy / Cold War fanboyisms want to talk about. Let's talk about positives and be very positive about the game to start off the video. The first thing I want to touch on is gunplay. Gunplay feels good, and the guns here feel good. Now that's a lot to do with the Modern Warfare engine and the gameplay fidelity of that engine, and I think that Sledgehammer has definitely fine-tuned it for a World War II setting. I like the fact that recoil is back and that not every weapon is just like a non-recoil laser beam. Now obviously a lot of the weapons that we experience here in Vanguard are not built up to have like very good horizontal and vertical recoil control and all that sort of stuff, so we can't gauge it too much. But from what we experience here, recoil is a welcome addition back into here because it makes gunfights that much more sort of tailored to people who can use guns better. Better gun skill means you win gunfights. Another reason that you win gunfights better because of better gun skill is because of body multipliers. Body multipliers are very, very present here in the Vanguard Alpha. For example, if you shoot someone from the chest up, you will do more damage to them when as opposed to them shooting you from the belly down, for example. You will do more damage for getting your shots on target in those sort of critical areas. So there's multiple times where myself is in a gunfight and I am shooting at the lower half of their body. They kill me because they were shooting at my upper half of the body, and vice versa. That is welcome because that then rewards gun skill, aiming better, doing all that sort of stuff. So again, a welcome change there in terms of your engagements. TTK is good. It's a mix between Modern Warfare and Cold War, so it's sort of in between there, which is what Sledgehammer is a little bit known for. It's not as fast as Modern Warfare and it's not as slow as Cold War. It's in that sweet spot in the middle right there. Obviously within the Champion Hill Alpha, as you upgrade your gun does start to shred a lot more, and that's something that we will talk about sort of towards the negative sides and the con side of things. But for the base TTK, and if we're talking guns without any crazy attachments and that sort of stuff, it feels good. I was worried that they were taking too much from Modern Warfare and then we're going to take the Modern Warfare TTK. It doesn't seem like that's the case, but of course things can change from now until the full game's release. If anything, I hope that they increase the TTK rather than decrease it. But where the gunplay is right now, it feels really, really good. Guns feel good. That's part and parcel to the engine, but that's also part and parcel to Sledgehammer and then the way they developed guns and how they react. They feel good, and I don't know if that makes sense, but guns in Cold War don't feel good. They feel like toys, whereas guns in Modern Warfare and in here in Vanguard, they feel good. And I don't know how else to explain that fact. Like just when you're using it with a controller, or eventually when you guys get to use it with Xbox controllers and keyboard and mouse, the guns have a bit of oomph to them, you know what I mean? I don't know, that's just my sort of weird thing there. The next thing I want to talk about in pros and positives is footsteps. Footsteps are quieter than Modern Warfare, which is a very, very good thing. You could argue maybe they're a little too quiet, where in certain cases you can hear footsteps really loudly, and in some cases you really can't hear footsteps at all. And apparently, according to Modern Warzone, this is because depending on which weapon you're using will depend on how loud your footsteps are. So obviously if you're using like an LMG, then your footsteps are going to be louder. If you're using an SMG, then your footsteps are going to be quieter because SMGs are lighter weapons. This is an interesting change, and this is something that I think is very welcome because that rewards sort of faster pace rushing players who like to use assault rifles and SMGs. I think that's a welcome change, but I will say, even though footsteps are quieter, that does not give Sledgehammer the license to make Dead Silence a field upgrade. Dead Silence always in Call of Duty multiplayer needs to be a perk, because not only does it help people who play Search and Destroy, for example, it helps the people that play objective game modes such as Domination, hard point and that sort of stuff as well. It's more for like search and destroy people and headquarters and that sort of stuff, but dead silence always needs to be a perk. No matter how quiet you make your footsteps, I don't care if they're mouse quiet, I don't care if they're as loud as Modern Warfare 2019, dead silence always needs to be a perk. I see people arguing online whether or not it should be a field upgrade or a perk, and honestly, the people who think that dead silence should be a field upgrade, they're Modern Warfare 2019 cucks. I don't care what they have to say. Footsteps and loud footsteps lead to camping, and camping gets eliminated by a working ghost perk and dead silence, so that always needs to be there. I like the footsteps here in Vanguard. It is leading into a good direction. We just need to see for that beta whether or not dead silence is going to be a perk or a field upgrade, and that'll make or break Vanguard in a lot of ways for a lot of people. Moving on from footsteps, let's talk about general audio. Audio is good. It sounds good, like the guns sound good, they sound powerful, they sound beefy. The announcer is a little loud. I feel like they should turn the master volume down there. There are some instances where audio is a little bit choppy. For example, when you slide, the sound effect for sliding, like on the ground, happens after you finish sliding, and that's something that I noticed that really sort of bothered me, but it is an alpha, so it is things that can change. And audio volumes and that sort of stuff is something that they can always change. But for now, the game does sound really good, and again, that's part and parcel to the Modern Warfare engine, so that is a big plus there. The next plus is Ghost, and Ghost being the way it should be, where if you're moving it'll conceal you, and if you're not moving it won't conceal you. That's how Ghost works, that's how Ghost should work, and that's how Ghost should always work, no matter what game it is. Whether you're promoting camping or not, Ghost should always reward the players who are moving around the map and really hinder players who are not moving around the map. That's what it's for, and that's how it's always going to be. I don't care what development team you are or what gameplay philosophy you have, Ghost is always meant to be this way and should always be this way. Again, this combined with dead silence means that camping should be less prevalent here. In Vanguard, obviously, it was very, very prevalent in the alpha, especially once you got into those sort of ladder rounds, but Ghost and a working Ghost here is very, very welcome. And the final pro I have here is Champion Hill. Champion Hill is a good twist on 2v2 and 3v3. 2v2 and 3v3 isn't really that old. It came in Modern Warfare 2019 with Gunfight, and then it sort of changed a little bit, but not really, with Face Off in Cold War, and now here it's a welcome twist to that traditional, well, not even traditional, to that format. It's nice, it's different, but it's repetitive, and I don't see myself going back to Champion Hill when the game releases and being like, oh my god, let's play some Champion Hill, maybe for like one or two matches, but for what it is, it's really fun. I found myself getting really sort of amped up and tense once you got into those final rounds, and once your lives are depleting and you're sort of like against only like 3 squads left and you're going for that win. It definitely has that sense of battle royale with that intensity and that sort of tension, mixed with like a 2v2 format, and I think it works really, really well. So Champion Hill as a game mode, very, very fun game mode. I think it's a good addition to Vanguard. It's just not something that I see myself playing over the traditional 6v6 multiplayer, but as a mode, stand alone, it's very, very fun to play, especially on duos. I found myself having a lot more fun on duos. Trios is apparently more fast paced. Unfortunately, I never got to play trios in this weekend because it closed before I could get the opportunity. But duos, from what I played, duos was quite fun, and from what I see online, trios is even more fast paced, which is very nice. But yeah, I think Champion Hill is actually a really, really good game mode and a welcome addition here into Vanguard. That does it for pros. Let's get into the cons, because again, let's sort of say this right now, it is an alpha. Sledgehammer has already said that they are welcome to changes and feedback and all that sort of stuff, so don't take this as me bashing the game or anything like that, because it's not. It's me simply providing constructive criticism on the alpha, and it's an alpha. It's not even in its final stage yet, and again, Sledgehammer is welcome to criticism, which I'm very happy about. The first con I want to talk about here is visibility. Visibility is a big problem here in Vanguard. They have addressed that they're going to be fixing visibility in terms of that little red dot, in terms of map visibility, in terms of visibility behind destructible walls and all that sort of stuff, but I still need to talk about it. And both when damaged as well. Like when you're damaged, I don't know if you're seeing the gameplay right now, when I get damaged, like really damaged, the screen goes like black and gray for whatever reason, and it's really hard to see people. That is a big problem. Another problem with visibility is the effects off of weapons. If you don't know, Vanguard is going to have different bullet types, and different bullet types were very prevalent here in the alpha. You had your incendiary rounds and your FMJ rounds, and when you shot those weapons, like flashes and sparks came up on your gun, again making it really hard to see people. The only way I could see people was the red name tag or the red dot above their heads, and not the person themselves. So I had no idea where I was shooting at. I just had an idea of where they were because of their name tag. So visibility is a big problem in Vanguard. Again, something that can be fixed, something that apparently is getting fixed for the beta, which I'm very happy about. But again, I had to talk on it because as a whole, it was an issue throughout the whole entire beta. This one sort of coincides with the visibility issue, and that's color. Vanguard is very brown. Everything is brown. Everything is a different shade of brown. There's different pastels of brown. There's brown on brown on brown. And since your characters are brown and the map and the environment is basically different shades of brown, again, hurts visibility because you blend into the environment so well, again, because everything is brown. I hope this is changed in the 6v6 maps. I hope in the 6v6 maps we get a bit of color, a bit of variety in our color palette here, because if everything is just brown on brown on brown, it's not gonna look nice. It's very boring to look at, and I found myself thinking at a lot of the times while playing the alpha is that this game, while sounds good and feels good, looks very, very boring because everything is brown. And it doesn't help that your screen goes black and fucking gray when you get really damaged. So color is a big issue, and again, something that can be fixed with the maps and whatever like that. But then again, something needs to change with the character models to where they're not just brown on brown on brown and can mix in with any sort of brown environment. I feel like I've said brown more times in the past 2 minutes than I have in the whole entire year. But yeah, color is a big issue here in Vanguard, but again, something that can be fixed. The next thing I want to talk about is destruction. I have notes, if you don't know, that's why I'm looking down at my notes. Destruction, I've said it's whack and adds nothing to the game, because it is whack and it does add nothing to the game. Destructibility and the fact that you can destroy things and basically destroy everything within the maps here in Champion Hill adds nothing to the game, because not only is it bad for things like aim assist and visibility and camping and all that sort of stuff, but it just adds nothing. I don't see how or why destruction needed to be here. If you just didn't have destruction and the same maps were the same way they were, no doors, no anything, I don't see how they change. I don't see how destruction changes Call of Duty. I don't see how it adds anything. If anything, it takes away from Call of Duty, and specifically the Champion Hill Alpha, because of those visibility issues, because of the camping issues, because of the aim assist issues. Destruction just doesn't work, and I don't know how it's gonna work in 6v6, but at least here in Champion Hill, it didn't add anything. Because if you don't know, if you destroy something within your rounds of Champion Hill, the next time you go into that same map in Champion Hill, the same things that you destroyed will be destroyed, plus anything else that has been destroyed by other teams. So the maps are constantly changing, constantly evolving, and eventually by the time you get to the end of the rounds, they're just skeletons. They're basically nothing because they've been blown up, ran through, shot through, destroyed, whatever. And it adds nothing to the game. If anything, it promotes camping even more because people don't want to run out or do anything. They just want to sit in their corner where they know they can't be shot through, because everything else is so wide open and skeleton and barren. It just doesn't make sense for them to do anything or move or anything like that. So destruction doesn't add anything. You can keep destruction, and we're not going to get rid of destruction here in Vanguard because it seems to be a key gameplay principle that they're going with, but don't make everything in the map destructible. Currently, pretty much everything can be destroyed, and that's a problem. Maybe limit it to a couple of things. I think where the wooden planks are, I think that's fine. It's just the fact that anything and everything can be shot through, seen through, destroyed. It just doesn't add anything, and it just hurts gameplay overall. The next thing I want to talk about, and then this again carries on from destruction, and it's aim assist. Aim assist is busted. It's completely busted here in Vanguard. It's basically aimbot and locking and that sort of stuff. It's basically that, because it's so strong. It is so strong. The game tracks for me. I don't need to track people because the game tracks for me, and that's because everything is destructible. They're fixing this, okay? They said that they're gonna fix this, the aim assist behind destructible environments. They said they're fixing this, but I cannot escape the fact that it ruined a lot of experience here on Vanguard, because there's nothing worse than being tracked through a wooden crate, a big old wooden crate, being tracked through that because the wooden crate can be destroyed, right? Makes no sense. Makes absolutely no sense to how aim assist is so strong to the point where it can track you through objects. It shouldn't do that. It's never been like that, and the fact that everything's destructible only adds to the point of aim assist being completely busted, and I hope they fix it going into the beta and the final release of the game as well. Next thing I want to talk about is movement. Movement feels very sluggish, and I know it's working off of the MW 2019 engine, but movement, while very similar to Modern Warfare and Warzone, doesn't feel as smooth. Sliding and drop shotting and running and all that sort of stuff, your basic movement feels very slow, and I don't know if that's a design principle to say that you're in a World War II setting, you'll be carrying more things are heavier or whatever. It just doesn't feel good. It feels okay, it doesn't feel great, but again, something that they can fix, something that can be fixed for the beta and then the final release of the game as well. Something that they should definitely look at, because movement just overall, to me at least, felt very sluggish. My next point, FMJ and explosive rounds, they're busted. More explosive rounds in FMJ, because explosive rounds can kill you after shooting you after 2 shots. These make some guns a 2-shot kill. No gun in Call of Duty should ever be a 2-shot kill besides things like sniper rifles, shotguns, etc. No assault rifle, no SMG, no LMG, whatever, marksman rifle should ever be a 2-shot kill no matter where you shoot the enemy, and that's what this brings. Now we know, again as I said earlier, that there are going to be different ammo types within Vanguard. I just hope that these different ammo types don't hinder gameplay in a TTK sense, because for whatever reason, 2-shot kill weapons are viable, and they need to be fixed, they need to be nerfed. FMJ and explosive rounds shouldn't be that stupid. My next point that I have here is health regen. Health regen is stupidly slow, and by stupidly slow, I mean ridiculously slow, to the point where what's the point of me looking at a black screen for this prolonged period of time before I can engage in gunfights again. It doesn't, again, add anything to gameplay, and this is only going to make the stim shot more viable than anything else. We don't know if stim shot's coming back, but if it is back, there's no reason you should be running any other tactical grenade or tactical equipment other than stim shot. If the health regen is going to stay this slow, stim shot is a necessity for this game because it's stupidly slow. You cannot go on tears with SMGs, killing off multiple people without waiting 10 seconds for your health to regen, without looking at that boring ass brown and black and gray screen for 10 seconds as your character pants and does whatever. Like it just takes way too long. Why is it that long? That was my question. Every time I was sort of just sitting, waiting for my health regen, I was just thinking, why the hell is this so long? It slows down gameplay. Slower health regen slows down gameplay. You can have the slower health regen, but you need to have a stim. But then that alienates all the other tactical equipment. So that's a balancing issue there. So do you decrease the time that it takes for your health to regen, making more things like stun grenades or whatever like that more viable in a tactical equipment spot? Or do you just add the stim there and then just be like, there's your fix. There's your fix to the slow health regen. I don't know what they're gonna do. That bothered me in the beta, in the alpha a lot. The final thing that bothered me in the alpha a lot was the minimap. The minimap is whack because it's the same minimap that we had in Modern Warfare 2019, where it doesn't show enemies when they shoot their gun that's unsuppressed. So unless you have a spy plane, you can't see people on the map when they shoot. And that's stupid. That's a problem, and it shouldn't be like that. The minimap is one of those things in Call of Duty that should never be changed. Ever. It shouldn't. And you could argue, you have the compass. Who's gonna look at the compass? I didn't even look at the compass in Modern Warfare 2019. Why do you think I'm gonna look at the compass now in Vanguard? No. Minimap needs to be a mini map. It needs to show enemies on the map if they're using an unsuppressed weapon. It doesn't balance anything. The fact that you can't be seen whether you're using a suppressed weapon or not means that every single suppressor you're gonna have in the game is redundant. It's useless. There's no point of using a suppressor because no matter if you use a suppressor or not suppressor, you're not going to be seen on the map anyway. So there's no point. Adding a suppressor gives that extra slot credence to be like, okay, I need to be running a suppressor here or else I'm going to be seen all over the map. It just... And then as well, that fact as well, by the way, the fact that the minimap's the same as it's been in Modern Warfare 2019, again, promotes campers because campers, they can just sit wherever they want. Because whether, it doesn't even matter if they're using Ghost, because they know they're going to be spotted with Ghost, but it doesn't matter, right? Because even when they shoot their gun and they stay in that same spot and keep shooting their gun from that same spot, they're not going to be found on the minimap. So minimap needs to go back to the traditional minimap. It should have never been changed. It needs to go back. This is something that was a problem in Modern Warfare 2019 and it looks like it's going to be a problem here in Vanguard. I hope it's not, and I hope Sledgehammer fixed that because it needs to be a traditional minimap. That is it for my pros and cons. Let's go through an overall look on Vanguard. It's an alpha. It's very much an alpha. And I'm not here super bashing it or super praising it because it is an alpha. It's a very, very early build of the game and a lot of things here are subject to change. If they do change those things, we're looking at a good year, even with skill-based matchmaking. If not, then we're looking at a Modern Warfare 2019 World War II reskin. And a lot of this stuff, granted, a lot of this crap is just Modern Warfare 2019 with a World War II skin over it. But for a long time, I've said that Modern Warfare 2019 could have been a really good Call of Duty game if their design philosophies weren't garbage. Sledgehammer has the opportunity to make this game fun and make this game good from not only a base game standpoint, but a design philosophy standpoint on top of the base game standpoint as well. Because if Vanguard can do what Modern Warfare did wrong and then change those wrongs into rights, then we are looking at a good Call of Duty game. The progression system, apparently there's like over 70 weapon levels for some of the weapons, so that's good in a grind sense. We need a good progression system, whether that in terms of challenges, in terms of prestige, in terms of weapon leveling. All those fundamental pieces need to be there, but all of that means nothing if you don't have a traditional minimap, if dead silence is a field upgrade, if visibility is awful, all these things that we listed here in these videos. Everything that I listed can be fixed. Everything that I listed is something that can be tweaked and changed to make the game better. So if Sledgehammer goes ahead and does these things, we're looking at a good Call of Duty game, and I'm hopeful that Sledgehammer can do it, because Sledgehammer has time and time again proven to us that they will listen to the community and change the game for the community to make it better according to community feedback, and I really hope and I really do believe that they will do that here with this game. And if anything, you guys are more important than I am as well in talking about this, because as I said, there is a survey you can fill out to sort of tell Sledgehammer what they can improve on for Vanguard, and I urge every single one of you watching this video right now to do so. I'm gonna go ahead and do it as well. I'm gonna put everything that I said in my notes here. I'm gonna put everything that I said in my notes in that sort of review thing there, and then send that off, and hopefully they see that and hopefully they make the changes that we all want them to make. But that's enough for me. My throat is dry as hell because I've been talking for too long about Call of Duty. And yeah, so leave a like if you're in the video. If you enjoyed it, comment down below. If you've played the alpha, again, let me know what you think about it. If you haven't played the alpha and you're sort of just watching gameplay and listening to people talk about it, have you sort of created an opinion on Vanguard? Are you excited for the open beta? I'd love to know that as well. Click subscribe if you're new here, because it's not over. The Vanguard coverage isn't over. September 7 is the multiplayer reveal, and then September the 10th is when we start the open beta. So we're getting very, very close. It's about a couple of weeks away. So things are sort of heating up for Call of Duty 2021. And it's a great time to be a Call of Duty fan with all the hype around. So yeah, click subscribe to be updated on everything Vanguard, but I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace. Here come the bastards, 21 days. Gun you boy, I know he's a waste. Baby, I know that you want a little taste. I know you want all the bass in your face. Brand new bag and brand new nails. Me and Lil J, we Scotty MJ. Bass in the rock, we're here in the fade. Pull up in a whip with 21 days. Here come the bastards, 21 days.